kind of getting into this courtyard and almost creating like a cyclone effect. It was pushing water.
Trask Middle School principal Dr. Maggie Rollison says close to 300 people quickly packed into their building as Hurricane Florence made its way towards the Carolinas.
There was a line that it took 3.5 hours to get everybody in the building. I mean, they ran out of cots that night. We had opened as shelters before, but never to that extent.
And as the storm rolled on, Dr. Rollison says the wind and rain became a major issue.
Sometime late Thursday night or early Friday morning, we actually had a roof drain. That's like it comes into the building and then it's supposed to go out to drain the roof. It broke. And I remember sometime mid-morning on Friday, we actually stuck a trash can underneath it to see how long it would take to fill that up, to see how much water was coming in the building. And that, regular school-sized trash can filled up in 10 minutes. And so the water was just gushing into the building. It filled up that room, and then it started to creep down the hallways. So the water came from 014, which is right down this hallway, and then ended up going all the way down to where those blue trash cans are at the end of the hallway.
Dr. Rollison and her team were quick to respond, making sure shelter guests were safe and away from the floodwaters.
I think we all did what anybody would do. You had to move people around throughout the shelter. We had to displace our families. The shelter staff families were sleeping in here. We had to move them into different locations. We have a drain in our parking lot that will, if it gets covered in pine straw, it will flood the parking lot. And so we went out a couple times in waders to make sure that drain was cleared, because we knew we had shelter residents' cars out there. We had staff cars out there. We certainly didn't want our parking lot to flood. And we just continued to move people as they needed to be safe.
And when it was safe to do so, guests were bused to different shelters. Not long after that, the cleanup process began.
We had a company come in very quickly and was able to do a lot of water mitigation to eliminate what could have been a very bad situation.
Some flooring and walls had to be replaced, but Dr. Rollison says she's just thankful everyone inside Trask was safe.
We've had staff members that they've lost their entire home, all of its belongings. They've lost cars. We've got so many families in our area that were impacted. But even the ones that seemingly have lost everything will say, but somebody else has it worse. And so I think it's just put that into perspective for a lot of people about how fortunate some of us have been and the things that we do have. And a lot of it is just material things, as long as you have, some people, there was deaths that were experienced in our area and in our school community. And so I think it's about being resilient and how do we rebuild and become stronger as a result.